at it.
Yeah, and this saves a lot of time because we have so many open GitHub issues. It really moves the challenge from just fixing and debugging the issue to, is this the right thing to merge? Like, is this the right fix?
How good is it? Is this doing like 100% of yours? Is it like 10%?
We can go to the insights and go to contributors, and then if we go last 3 months, and this is specifically to main, we can see that RoboBun is now a bigger contributor to Bun than I am. And that's with merging not all of its PRs for sure. You can see we have a lot of PRs open right now. The challenge is really how do we know, can we merge the PR? And that's the test. And then the other thing that's really interesting about this is we have automatic code review bots that run, and then they're going back and forth. So like CodeRabbit leaves a comment, and then the comment says resolved when it's done. And you can see they actually went a lot. Like there's a lot of back and forth here. There's like 30 comments or something.
And so you're using like a combination of agents. So this is like code review, this is like Claude code review, and then also CodeRabbit, and like you're using them together.
Yeah, and I think basically like CodeRabbit is good for like kind of stylistic issues and things that are like make sure that it follows the Claude MD, and then the Claude code review is really good at here's this really subtle edge case that would have taken me like 30 minutes of reading all the code and having all the context to like figure out. And so it's really good at surfacing bugs that you need the full context to really understand. And I think basically it's really hard to actually have all this automation without having code review that is in the loop with Claude. They're replying, or replying is like very performative, but like fixing. And that's also a big part of like what used to take so much time when why PRs would take so much time to merge is because you'd have to like check out the branch locally, fix a lint error, then run the linter locally, then push it back up, and there's all this switching cost that's constantly there. And so I think this is like an especially good use case for LLMs, because otherwise like it just takes up so much time to ship.
And I guess like especially for the Bun code base, because it's like it's systems code.
We could do that for like we have some front end stuff that would be nice. But yeah, I think we have some, at least not yet. There's a couple of things we could do that for. Like we have some front end stuff that would be nice. But yeah, I think this is like the direction that I think is really interesting, is because it saves so much time. And this is something that like this is specifically for Bun, but the more generalizable thing because most products are not open source, is like instead of an issue, maybe the starting point is like a customer support ticket. So like you could imagine an automatically passing customer support tickets to a Claude bot to then go and try to reproduce the issue and then submit a PR, and then having code review go back and forth. And that's where I think for a lot of companies it becomes a lot more impactful, because it just saves so much developer time.
We should think of some kind of name for this pattern. It's like adversarial code review or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do think like there's also a few other things about this that's like if you just do this, then it doesn't quite work. The very first step you need is to like make sure the development environment is set up. Like I think this has been talked about before, but like Claude MD is very important, because otherwise it's going to just submit PRs that don't quite make sense for you to merge. So like we very much emphasize in Bun's code base that it runs this special command to do the build, and this both builds and runs the command, so it like forwards the arguments. Because that's also one confusing thing is like because Bun has to be compiled, you want to make sure that it's running the actual changes and not like a debug build that's like stale. We also go into a lot of detail about how to run tests, how to write tests, where to put the test, and a lot of like, here's all the issues that we've run into previously, like basically the pattern here is like every time that you find yourself repeating something, it should probably go in Claude MD, because the question now is like how it needs to be documented. So like a really small detail is like we check we have it like to make sure that Claude sees the error message. We make it print the error message before the like less informative conditions.
So this is sort of like you have Claude write a test, and then
Oh yeah, we can also check on.
it's like Robobun or something more like that, where it's like
Okay, I did 2 PRs. This looks very plausible.
it's cool. And this before after, is this like do you tell it to do that, or is
Sometimes it does it. It's pretty good about knowing like when it should do that, like when it's like a string formatting thing. It also kept like one style of the label, which is good because node style is slightly different. Let's see, does this change look good? Yeah, mostly what I'm thinking right now is it did this. This is good because like you don't want to write 1 byte at a time. You want to write in chunks, and then it used saturation but I don't like that. Or like it shouldn't have to do that.
does anyone here actually know Zig? Sort of.
But yeah,
This is how I feel looking at this code.
and you can see it followed the patterns from the Claude MD await using, and then that pattern of reading all the resolving all the promises at the same time.
And so like, what's your workflow like when you see something like this? Are you usually going in and like commenting?
It was like basically you had to ignore most of what it said.
It's pretty cool. How long has something like this worked? Is it like a latest model thing, or like have you had like Robobun or this kind of like automated repro, automated fixing, like this whole pipeline? Like how long has that been actually possible?
We can probably like see this in a chart somewhere. That's kind of a lot of commits, but I think that might not be on main. That might be the Rust thing.
Yeah, I heard Bun is going to be written in Rust soon. Is that?
I don't know. Or I just have a Claude running, and we'll see what happens. But you can see like the volume of commits there. It's like kind of lower, and then it's definitely gotten up a lot, and then it's gone up a lot. Now really the bottleneck is like, do I feel good about merging this? Am I confident that its changes are correct? And that's new, because it used to be like the code wasn't good enough.
What do you think? What do you think is left? Like what's it going to take before? Well, like, is there like a missing tool or like a missing model capability or model version or something for you to kind of feel like Robobun can fully close the loop? Issue comes in and then like fix goes out automatically.
I think it needs a little bit more. It takes a lot of time to verify the changes are correct. This was kind of already true, like when it's a person pushing up a PR. But I think the challenge is like, how do we make sure to communicate sufficient proof that the changes are correct, or making it easier to like roll back things. I think those are kind of the two directions. But I think like for the majority of like simple issues, we should probably be pressing merge a lot more. And the bottleneck now is actually like CI and like making sure that like
I can't.
Like in having like fully running the code, like
Impossible.
making sure all the test stuff works.
I can't.
But I think it's like basically there for like
Impossible.
And the large projects are still
I can't.
non-trivial. But also I've been doing some pretty large PRs lately with Claude, mostly not as much with Robobun, but with like Claude Code. We recently added support for a built-in image processing library to Bun. I could probably pull up the PR. And that was Claude.
We need one more.
And also we did a bunch of follow-up PRs
Come on.
too.
Yeah, it's like
So close.
it's interesting
You
because I think
almost said
like
it.
when I look at different people using Quad Code, everyone is like at a kind of different level of like
I can't.
sophistication or kind of like adoption of this.
Come on, come
And
on,
I think
come on,
for
come
me the
on.
hardest thing is the model changes
more
very often,
Unrune.
so I have to like constantly retune and
He
kind of
almost
recalibrate
said
to what
it.
it can do. And like as an engineer, it's hard because it's like a very weird technology. It's like the first technology I've used that's like that. And I sort of feel like this is actually the way that you
Impossible.
do it is ahead of how the Quad Code team does it
I
for Quad
can't.
Code itself. And to me, like that like the way the Claude Code team does it is actually very automated, but this is like even further ahead. This is like almost
on.
like full liftoff, like fully closed loop.
Like in the last 2 weeks, we've added an HTTP3 server to Bun. There's a PR for an HTTP2
Oh, he
server.
almost
there's
said it.
Fetch support for HTTP3 and HTTP2.
He said, oh.
There's this image processing
Oh, he said it again.
API. There's the ongoing Rust rewrite, which may not ship. That's like the most
God
ambitious one
damn.
I've done so far. And done is too strong of a word because it's very much not done.
And so even
Oh my
something
God,
like this,
so
like
close,
this is like
fuck.
a benchmark. So Claude ran this benchmark for you.
Yeah, Claude ran this benchmark. I gave it like this ran in like a separate like I don't know.
Bro, he won't say it now. He keeps saying, oh, he won't use the M. What the fuck? All right.
On like a Linux box.
There it is.
Yeah, and
Got
and I
it.
would,
Let's
like,
go.
Make it faster.
40 Unrunes,
than
baby.
Sharp.
World record. Let's go. Boom. Got them all back, baby. Let's get the fuck out of there.